religion now has to compete in that neutral public square for consumers, for customers.
The Bible says that God will supply that need according.
When we pray to survive, endure, make it through, that's a sick prayer.
Tithing is a test. He gave his son, and you want to argue about 10%.
We do not want this church or any other church destroyed by the government.
We're not going to answer the question. You answer our question.
When I give to God, I am simply taking my hands off that which already belongs to Him.
You are what I call a kiddie pool Christian.
Good morning. Welcome to She Became Visible. I know that the timing is a little bit off, but I wanted to get on and let you know that the podcast, the presentation that I had scheduled for today, we're going to have to postpone it. We're going to do it tomorrow with Nathan. Nathan and I are going to meet. We're going to talk about his Salt Lake City premiere of The Religion Business. Unfortunately, he had some things that came up, and so he wasn't able to do it today, but we are going to do it tomorrow. But I wanted to give you a preview of coming attractions. And let me just tell you a little bit. Now, this is the premiere that we did. It was on Friday in Salt Lake City. Well, actually, it was held in West Jordan, but it was the Salt Lake City premiere. He has already premiered it in Dallas, and I can't remember if there was one in San Antonio. I can't remember, but either way, he's getting a really good response. And he had two presentations on Friday. He had one at 6 o'clock, and then he had another one at 8. And I was really, really impressed with the audience that came. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And, you know, what I was impressed with was the people that were there. There were a lot of couples, a lot of partners that were there. And there were a lot of people of a Christian faith, which I thought was beautiful, especially in Salt Lake City. I had a wonderful conversation with a couple that I'm actually going to have on my podcast. They work very intensely with the Mormon Church, with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they're working with them, as I believe Nathan is actually, they're working with the Mormon Church to try to get them to understand how their narrative is conflicting with the message that they're trying to send. And that if they want to be accepted by the evangelical general Christian world out there, they're going to have to change their narrative a little bit. Something that the Mormon Church doesn't quite, it's like they want it so badly, but they're not quite willing to give up their elite. We're the only true church narrative that they tell all the time. So a fabulous couple, and really, really, they are literally directly working with the Mormon Church and the people in authority. So that's going to be fabulous. I can't wait to meet with them. But those are the kind of people that were at the premiere on Friday. Excellent, excellent. And Nathan and Chris, of course, were both there, and they both explain the whole process that came about with developing this documentary, this docuseries. And the other thing that they really talked about, and I want you to do this right now, I want you to get your phones and I want you to download the app Broken Shepherds, because this app is an appendage with the religion business, because what it's doing, it's giving secular and religious organizations, nonprofits, the opportunity to be transparent, to tell the world about who they are and what they're doing. And what Nathan and Chris have done is they've developed this app that will allow these people to completely be transparent. This is who we are. This is what our message is. This is what our mission is as a nonprofit. This is how much we receive in donations. This is how much we spend. And they're very transparent. And then you as a consumer can choose how you would like to donate your charitable funds. And I love the fact, because someone in the audience, when the showing of the docuseries, afterwards they opened it up to the audience for questions and answers, and there was a beautiful young lady that said, I have a question. I'm an atheist, but I would like to be a part of this, and how would I contribute? And he said, no, this, wherever you are in your belief system, we want you to just be on board with nonprofits being transparent about their donations. And when people give their hard-earned income to any nonprofit, they want to know where it's going. They want to know, where is my money going? Because you profess it to be serving the poor, serving the needy, but are you really doing that? And that's what the whole religion business docuseries is all about. And there was another gentleman in the audience that said, because what they did on Friday was they highlighted one of the series episodes, because it's I think it's 7.5 hours, the docuseries. There's 7 episodes, and they each go for about an hour. So obviously we're not going to sit there for 7 hours in the auditorium. So they chose to show episode 3, which it touched my heart, because as my podcast, my narrative, my mission for She Became Visible is highlighting the strength and the worth of women and women's voices. And in episode 3, what Nathan does is he flies to Uganda, and he talks about the atrocities that are going on there. But there is a woman who has started a service to try and protect the children. And right now, okay, and I'm going to tell you how to get onto this docuseries right now. But so that's series episode 3. He's really highlighting this nonprofit in Uganda, and that is completely run by this woman and the other women that are there. And so I loved that. But this gentleman in the audience said, why did you choose to show that episode for the Salt Lake premiere? How is the LDS Church involved in this? And so Nathan and Chris both went on to explain that episode, I think it was 1, 2, 3, and 7, specifically, they had a lot to do with the Mormon Church's wealth and what they're doing with their billions and billions and billions of dollars. And Spencer Anderson is prominent. And I know that I thought that Dan McClellan was in the series, but I haven't seen him yet. I've seen all of the series except for I haven't seen the last one. I haven't seen 7. So, but it's so well done. So let me tell you right now, my podcast is going to be with Nathan tomorrow. And so I will repost this on YouTube tomorrow after we get done recording it. But in the meantime, I want you to go to thereligionbusiness.com, because what Nathan is finding, and as my thumbnail broadcast, the social media, they're doing everything they can to block this. And it has been an uphill swim for Nathan to get this out, because he is really, really getting a lot of backlash because of course they don't want this divulged. They don't want, the evangelical mega churches don't want you to divulge how much property they own. The Mormon Church doesn't want you to show the ranches and the farms and the fact that they own more private property in Illinois and Florida and Montana than any other organization. They don't want you to know that. And so they're doing everything they can to try to stifle this. But Nathan I love his faith. He has a strong faith in Jesus Christ, and he sees what he calls breadcrumbs being laid out, that things just keep happening where he's able to get out there. So it's really, really interesting. But anyway, so what he has done is he and Chris have released this documentary, this docuseries. You go to thereligionbusiness.com. And I think it's like $16.95 or something like that. You can purchase the entire docuseries and watch it. Now, I think he said in August, it's going to be released on Amazon Plus, Apple TV, some other, streaming services. And he's also offering scholarships for those people who can't afford to purchase it on the Religion Business, he has a program where you can get it for free. So he's really making it accessible. But I would encourage you to go to thereligionbusiness.com, download the series, and start. Just watch a couple if that's all you have time for. And then tomorrow, watch my interview with Nathan, and then you will see, and he will explain some of the things that he covers, the people that he interviews. And he's got a wonderful interview with an IRS specialist talking about the difference between a religious nonprofit, a secular nonprofit, and the forms that they have to file and how transparent they actually need to be, which is pretty much zero. And so he's really, really, it's just done. So it's one of the most professional, well done documentaries, docuseries that I've ever watched. It's just excellent. Nathan is extremely creative. And so it's really, really beautiful. So between now and tomorrow, I want you to download it and watch as many of the series as you can. So thank you for joining me. I just wanted to get on and tell you a little preview of coming attractions. The clip that I showed you is a part of one of the episodes. And so it's just amazing that and here's the other thing that I love. Most of the people that he interviews are people that have not lost their faith. They have been able to watch this with they're not suffering cognitive dissonance. All right. They watch it with critical thinking skills and they're going, you know what? This has nothing to do with my belief in Jesus Christ. This is a man-made organization that is going against the principles that I believe are a part of my religion. And they're going about with, they're actually stealing money from people that are giving their hard-earned income, and they're not using it properly in their opinion. And I would have to say that, these billion-dollar mansions and ranches and helicopters and planes and everything else that they're using it for, land grabs, is not exactly what Jesus was talking about. Okay. He also explains tithing, which I think is fabulous. So anyway, so stay tuned. Catch me tomorrow on She Became Visible, and we will be interviewing Nathan, and we will continue. So thanks for joining me today. Sorry for the fact that we had to postpone, but I understand that Nathan is extremely busy. And the fact that he's even taking time out of his day to do this. Our first podcast that we did was in February. I encourage you to go to She Became Visible 513. Look, The Religion Business, and watch the interview that I did with Nathan back in February when they were planning on releasing it in April. But they ran into some, walls. And so they had to postpone it until July. But so watch that. That's another preview of coming attractions. And and I was actually one of the first people to introduce Nathan to the LDS world. Most of the other podcasters had never heard of him because they have a habit of not going outside of Mormonism, where I was really watching a lot. Having left the church and having lost my faith in Christianity, I have explored other beliefs that are kind of part of my deconstruction. And I found Julie Royce, who is absolutely amazing. And through Julie, I found Nathan. So if you don't get out, and this is a little message, people, those of you that are deconstructing your belief in the Mormon church, I really highly encourage you to move out of strictly Mormonism and move into other areas of belief to expand your critical thinking. And that's how I found Nathan. So I introduced Nathan to the ex-Mormon world in February. And so I'm really, really proud of that. And I'm really excited to have him on my podcast again. So go back and watch that. That was in February. Look up She Became Visible, 513, February 2025, The Religion Business. And you will find my interview with Nathan. And then I will see you again tomorrow with Nathan Apfel, where he will share more of his amazing collection of knowledge and transparency. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.